Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into something I know you guys have been wanting to hear more about. It's something I think we all assume we've got a pretty good handle on, but after reading Nagel's book, Cure Tooth Decay, well, let's just say I had a few aha
Oh,
moments.
yeah. This book is full of surprises.
Tooth decay, we're getting to the bottom of it today.
It's interesting, right? Because we think we know the drill.
hmm
Brush, floss, fluoride.
Right, check.
But here's the thing. Tooth decay is still incredibly common. So that's got to tell you something, right? Like maybe there's a piece of the puzzle we're missing.
And maybe a pretty big piece at that, from what I'm gathering. Nadel's not shy about his main point. He says that tooth decay is, get this, primarily a nutritional deficiency disease, not just about those pesky bacteria munching on sugar.
And you know what's so compelling about that? It's actually backed up by some really interesting research. Nagel talks about this dentist, Weston Price, who was way ahead of his time. Back in the 1930s, he traveled the world studying all these isolated indigenous populations.
Okay, I'm already hooked. What did he find?
He found groups with near-perfect teeth. And we're talking people who'd never even seen a toothbrush.
No fluoride rinses either, I'm guessing?
Exactly. Not even a dentist in many cases. So that really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. And I read that part in the book, the part about Price's research. It was fascinating. He compared those isolated groups, like the people living way up in the Swiss Alps who had amazing teeth, to the modern-day Swiss population, and their rate of decay was so much higher.
Exactly. Night and day. And you know the biggest difference between those groups?
Hit me with it?
Their diet.
Okay, so this is where things start to get really interesting. Are we saying that even foods we consider healthy could secretly be contributing to tooth decay?
That's what Nagel's saying. And he goes deep into the science of it too, breaking down specific foods and how they impact your teeth. One example is phytic acid. This stuff is found in grains, nuts, beans, seeds.
Wait, hold on. Even whole grains?
Even whole grains.
Oh,
It's kind of a bummer, I know.
So phytic acid, tell me more about this. Why is it a problem?
Well, think of it this way. Phytic acid is like a mineral magnet. It binds to important minerals like calcium, magnesium, iron, zinc, and it basically makes them unavailable for your body to use. And guess which minerals are really important for healthy teeth?
Calcium's got to be up there, right? Strong bones, strong teeth.
You got it. You need that balance of calcium and phosphorus to build strong teeth. But phytic acid swoops in and messes with your body's ability to absorb and use them effectively.
So even if I'm loading up on calcium-rich foods, phytic acid could be sabotaging my efforts.
Yep, that's the gist of it. And it's not just the minerals themselves. Phytic acid also messes with enzymes that are needed for digestion and mineral absorption. So it's like a double whammy.
Okay, phytic acid officially on my radar now. But let's not forget about sugar. We all know it's enemy number one for our teeth. Is it really as simple as sugar feeding bacteria in our mouths, or is there something else going on there too?
Nagel actually goes deeper than that. I mean, yes, sugar feeds bacteria, that's a given. But he explains that too much sugar, and this goes for both the refined stuff and even natural sugars, can really mess with your blood sugar levels.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Blood sugar spikes and crashes, not a good time.
And when your blood sugar's on that roller coaster ride, it affects your calcium and phosphorus levels, which, as we've been talking about, are crucial for healthy teeth.
It all comes back to that balance, doesn't it?
Totally.
Okay, so we've got phytic acid messing with mineral absorption and sugar creating chaos with our blood sugar. Anything else we should be wary of when it comes to our diets?
Oh, for sure. Processed foods in general are kind of a no-brainer.
Soda, candy.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Even some of those health foods can be a problem. You know, they're marketed as healthy alternatives, but they're often loaded with hidden sugars and other ingredients that aren't so tooth-friendly.
Sneaky. Okay, you've given me a lot to think about the next time I'm at the grocery store. We've talked about what can harm our teeth. What about the flip side? What about solutions? Nagel's book is called Cure Tooth Decay. So what does he suggest we actually do to heal and remineralize our teeth?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Nagel's a huge proponent of fat-soluble vitamins, especially A, D, E, and K. These are like the superheroes of tooth health
And why is that?
because they're essential for your body to absorb and utilize calcium and phosphorus effectively. And we've already talked about how important those two minerals are for healthy teeth.
So it's not just about getting enough calcium, it's about making sure our bodies can actually use it.
Exactly. And there's one vitamin in particular that Nagel puts in the spotlight, vitamin D. You know how we were talking about Dr. Weston Price and those isolated populations he studied? Well, vitamin D played a huge role in their incredible dental health.
Now that you mention it, I remember reading somewhere that vitamin D can help prevent rickets, right? And I think rickets is somehow linked to tooth decay. Am I making that up?
No, you're right. And speaking of traditional remedies for things like rickets, think about cod liver oil. Remember that. Used to be given to kids all the time because it's such a good source of vitamin D. Nagel actually talks about how traditional cod liver oil is different from a lot of the processed versions you see today.
Oh, really? How so?
A lot of those processing methods, he says, actually end up destroying a lot of the natural vitamin D.
Interesting.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it. He even talks about how some cultures in the South Seas traditionally used fermented shark liver oil for its health benefits.
Fermented shark liver oil. Now that's something you don't hear every day.
Right. Talk about a unique dietary tradition. But it just shows you how long cultures around the world have understood the link between nutrition and dental health.
It's fascinating.
It is. And getting back to Nagel's recommendations, one of his more, shall we say, unconventional pieces of advice is about raw milk, specifically raw milk from grass-fed cows.
Raw milk. Now there's something you don't hear a lot about these days.
I know, right? And it can be controversial, but Nagel makes a case for why it's so much better than the pasteurized, homogenized milk that most of us are used to.
Okay, I'm curious. What's his reasoning there?
He says it's packed with beneficial enzymes, good bacteria for your gut, and calcium that's easier for your body to absorb. All things that contribute to a healthy smile. He even talks about those soured milk products, like kefir and clabber, and their traditional role in supporting dental health.
So kefir's good for more than just my gut. I like it.
Right.
It seems like we're learning more and more these days that a lot of that old traditional food wisdom actually holds up to modern science.
Absolutely.
Are there any other standout foods in Nagel's protocol that we should know about?
Bone broth is a big one,
Yeah.
especially fish bone broth. He talks about it as a nutritional powerhouse for your teeth.
Bone broth definitely seems to be having a moment, right? I'm seeing it all over the place these days. But it's good to know that there's actually some science-backed reasoning behind its benefits, especially for our teeth.
It's not just a fad, that's for sure.
So we've got all these delicious foods that might actually be hurting our teeth, and then this whole other category of nutrient-rich foods that we should be incorporating more. It makes you think about all the things we take for granted in our diets.
Absolutely.
Like grains, for example. We were talking about phytic acid before the break. Does Nagel say to just cut them out completely?
It's a good question. He definitely doesn't shy away from the challenges with phytic acid and grains, but he doesn't advocate for completely avoiding them.
Okay, so what's the solution then?
He really emphasizes traditional preparation methods.
Oh, interesting. So how our ancestors used to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back when they had to really be mindful about how they prepared things to get the most nutrition.
Things like soaking, sprouting, fermenting.
You got it. Those were all common practices to make grains easier to digest, and they also help to reduce those anti-nutrients like phytic acid.
So it's not just what we eat, it's how we prepare our food that can make a big difference in our dental health.
Yep.
It's kind of humbling when you think about it. Our ancestors really knew a thing or two about maximizing the nutrition they were getting from their food.
That's for sure. Nagel talks about how indigenous cultures around the world, even the ones with grain-heavy diets, had ways of preparing those grains that unlocked more of their nutrients and made them more digestible.
Fascinating. It really speaks to that idea of like traditional wisdom, right? Like maybe they were on to something back then.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it's something we can learn from and apply to our own modern diets.
Totally. It's about being open to these different ways of thinking about food and how we prepare it. So it's not just about what we eat, but how we prepare our food that can make a big difference in our dental health.
Exactly. And this is where personal responsibility comes in too.
Yeah.
Nagel's book is all about empowering you to take control of your dental health.
I like that. So it's about being proactive rather than just being like a passive recipient of whatever happens.
Exactly. You understand the deeper causes, you make informed choices, and you really can take charge.
It's definitely different from just like brushing and hoping for the best.
Totally. And, it's not just about diet alone. Nagel also talks about other things that can influence tooth decay, like stress.
Oh, interesting. Stress. How does that play a role?
Well, chronic stress can lead to nutrient depletion, which we already know impacts tooth health.
Right.
Plus, stress messes with your hormones, and that can disrupt the delicate mineral balance that your teeth need to stay strong.
Wow, so it really is all connected, isn't it?
It is.
Stress, hormones, nutrients, teeth, it's like a domino effect.
Exactly. And then there's the whole issue of what Nagel calls toxic dentistry.
Oh, right, I read that section. This is where he talks about mercury fillings, right?
Yeah, he's got concerns about mercury, fluoride, and also unnecessary dental procedures.
He argues that those can all have negative effects, not just on your mouth, but on your overall health, too.
Precisely. And, I know this is a lot to digest,
It is.
but it's empowering too, right? We're not powerless in all of this. We actually have more control over our dental health than we might think.
I like that.
It's about taking our health into our own hands.
It's about realizing we have choices.
Exactly. And the tooth decay, it's not inevitable. It's not a life sentence.
It's not like a foregone conclusion like, oh, well, that's just going to happen. Might as well get used to it.
Right. You can make different choices,
Right.
and you can actually turn things around, even reverse existing decay in some cases.
Okay, now that is a message of hope. I love that. So it's not about being perfect.
Not at all.
It's about understanding the root causes and making informed choices.
Exactly. And that looks different for everyone.
And I love how Nagel talks about the importance of finding a holistic dentist, someone who sees things from this perspective and can support you on your journey.
It's about finding someone who's on the same page as you, someone who gets it.
Yes. It's like a partnership. You and your dentist working together for your optimal health.
I love that. It's funny, isn't it? We think about our teeth, and it's like they're these separate little things, not really connected to the rest of our bodies,
Totally. Just these chompers in our mouths.
But as we've been hearing today, that's just not true at all.
Not even close. Everything's connected. Your teeth, your gums, your diet, your stress levels, it all ties together. And once you grasp that connection, that's when things start to get really interesting.
You get it. I love that. Like a light bulb moment. Suddenly you're like, wait, I have way more power than I thought to actually have the smile I want.
That's what Nagel drives home in this book. He's all about personal responsibility when it comes to your dental health, which I appreciate.
And it's not from a place of shame or blame either. He's not saying, oh, you had a cavity, what did you do wrong? It's more about recognizing that, okay, maybe we've made some choices in the past that haven't served us well, but we can make different choices starting right now. Exactly. Ditch the victim mentality. You're not stuck with the hand you were dealt. You can actually change the game.
I love that. And I think it's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking, oh, well, my mom had dentures, so I guess I'm destined for the same fate.
Right. But that's just not how it works.
It's empowering to remember that we have more agency than we think.
Exactly. And the reality is, you can have a completely different experience than your parents or even your siblings. Our genes might load the gun, but our lifestyle choices pull the trigger.
Okay, I love that analogy. That's so true. So regardless of your family history, your age, whatever it is, what's something you can do today to support healthy teeth? What's a good first step?
Honestly, just becoming aware of this information is huge.
Right. Like, knowledge is power.
Exactly. And Nagel's book gives you that power. He lays it all out there. And while there's no magic bullet or one-size-fits-all solution, he gives you the information you need to start experimenting and figure out what works best for your body.
It's like he's handing you this map and compass to help you navigate all the confusing and sometimes contradictory dental advice out there. It's overwhelming, all the information that's out there.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about Nagel's approach. He doesn't just leave you hanging with all this information. He actually provides a really solid framework for understanding the root causes of tooth decay, and then dives into all these different natural ways to heal your teeth.
I love that it's a holistic approach.
Totally. It's not just about brushing and flossing more. It's about looking at your diet, your lifestyle, your mindset. It's all connected.
And finding a holistic dentist, too. Someone who understands these principles.
Yes, that's key. Someone who's on board with this approach and can support you on your journey. Because it is a journey. There will be bumps in the road.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
It's about being proactive. It's about taking steps now to protect your teeth rather than waiting until something goes wrong and you're dealing with a bigger issue.
Exactly. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? That's definitely true when it comes to your teeth.
Absolutely. Think about it. Imagine waking up every day and you don't even have to think about your teeth. You're not worried about them. They feel strong and healthy, and you've got a smile that could light up a room. It's possible.
That's a beautiful vision. And it's totally achievable.
It is. We have the power to create that reality for ourselves. And here's the thing. When we start understanding this stuff and then we share it with the people we love, it creates a ripple effect.
Exactly. More and more people start questioning those old ways of thinking about dental care. It's exciting.
It's like we can literally change the world one smile at a time.
I love that.
It's about shifting that whole conversation around tooth decay and creating a system that's more holistic, more empowering for everyone.
Yes. And it starts with individuals.
Mm.
It starts with each and every one of us. When we question the status quo, when we seek out these different perspectives, when we make those conscious choices to support our oral health, we become part of something so much bigger.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's about becoming part of a movement toward a world where healthy teeth and gums are just the norm, not some far-off, impossible dream.
Exactly. A world where everyone has access to this information and feels empowered to take control of their oral health.
It's a beautiful vision.
It really is.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored those surprising causes of tooth decay. We've talked about the power of natural healing. And we even touched on the importance of finding a holistic dentist who really gets it.
It's been a great conversation. And I think the biggest takeaway here is that your mouth, it's not just this isolated thing. It is a reflection of what's going on in the rest of your body, your overall health and well-being. And when you approach your dental care from that perspective, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities for a lifetime of happy, healthy smiles.
Yes, love that. So as you move forward from this deep dive, remember that this journey towards optimal dental health, it's not about perfection.
It's about progress.
Yes, it's about being proactive, staying informed, and making choices that really align with your values and priorities.
And most importantly, don't be afraid to question everything.
Yes, exactly. Because you have the power to shape the future of your smile, and you can inspire others to do the same.
Here's to happy, healthy smiles.
Cheers to that. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time.